quiet corners of history, there exists a small piece of metal that changed the financial destiny of a newborn nation. Imagine a coin so old, so deeply connected to America's beginnings, that holding it feels like touching the breath of 1787 itself. Now imagine this coin, barely larger than a modern quarter, selling for over $1 million in today's world. Why? Because this isn't just any coin. This is the very first official coin of the United States of America. Before the US Mint existed, before standardized money became a reality, and even before the young nation fully understood its own identity, one man stepped forward with a vision. As the camera slowly zooms in on the ancient copper surface, you hear the whisper of a story lost to time. Benjamin Franklin, one of America's founding fathers, designed a coin that would not only serve as currency, but deliver a message that still holds incredible meaning today. With its strange sundial, its bold motto, "Mind your business," and the powerful symbol of 13 linked circles declaring "We are one," this coin carried more than monetary value. It carried the soul of a struggling but hopeful nation. But who actually made this coin? Why did Franklin choose such an unusual design? And how did a simple copper cent, produced long before America had a proper mint, become one of the most sought after pieces in the entire world of numismatics? Today, we're going back to the chaotic years right after the American Revolution, when the new United States was filled with uncertainty and confusion. A country free from British rule, but drowning in financial disorder. Foreign coins flooded the markets. Spanish dollars, British halfpence, Dutch ducats, all circulating in a confusing mix. There was no standard, no system, and no truly American money. It was during these unstable years that Benjamin Franklin, always a thinker, always a problem solver, proposed an idea that would help bind the nation. A coin that would symbolize unity, a coin that would encourage responsibility, a coin that would whisper a warning. Time flies, so work hard, build your future, and mind your business. As you watch the close-ups of this first American coin, the Fugio cent of 1787, you will begin to see the layers of meaning behind every symbol carved into its copper face. This video will take you deep into the birth of this remarkable coin, show the faces behind its creation, walk you through the controversies that nearly destroyed it, and reveal how, centuries later, it became a treasure worth hundreds of thousands, even millions, at auction. By the end of this story, you'll understand why collectors call it America's birth coin, and why this tiny piece of copper still carries the heartbeat of an entire nation. After the American Revolution, the United States stood victorious, but wounded. The war had been won, but the economy was broken. Markets were flooded with foreign currency, Spanish silver dollars, French libras, British halfpence, and countless tokens issued by private merchants. There was no national standard of money, no consistency, and no trust. Every colony, every merchant, and every region followed its own system. Imagine buying bread in one town using Spanish coins, 10 traveling 40 miles, and discovering those same coins were rejected or worthless. This chaos made daily trade frustrating and unstable, threatening the fragile unity of the new nation. Leaders of the young United States realized something critical. Without a national coinage system, the country could not build a stable economy. The country could not grow when its citizens did not even agree on what money should look like. The Continental Congress discussed the problem repeatedly, searching for a practical solution that would not only standardize money but symbolize unity among the 13 newly independent states. It was during these troubled years that the idea of America's first coin began to take shape. The government needed a coin that represented American identities. Something simple, affordable, and symbolic. A coin that could circulate everywhere, in every colony, in every marketplace, so Americans could finally trade using a currency of their own. Copper became the ideal choice. Cheap, easy to mint, and available in large quantities. It was perfect for small daily transactions. And so began the journey toward minting the first official coin of the United States, a coin that would carry not just monetary value, but the spirit of unity, freedom, and independence. This coin would become known as the Fugio cent, America's first step toward its own financial future. The story of America's first coin cannot be told without mentioning Benjamin Franklin, one of the most brilliant minds of the 18th century. Franklin was never officially a mint master, nor a coin maker, Yet his influence on early American currency was remarkable. As a thinker, scientist, and political leader, Franklin believed money should carry meaning. He often said that currency could shape the character of a nation, encouraging discipline, responsibility, and unity. Franklin designed the concepts behind the Fugio cent, including its symbols and its famous mottos. The sundial represented time. The rays of the sun symbolized enlightenment and progress. And the word Fugio Latin, for I flee, was Franklin's reminder. But time moves quickly. The phrase, "mind your business," wasn't about staying out of others' affairs. Instead, it meant to work hard, manage your responsibilities, and stay focused. The back of the coin, with 13 linked circles, displayed Franklin's belief in unity. The message "we are one" emphasized that the new United States must stand together or risk falling apart. While Franklin was the conceptual designer, the physical creation of the coin was led by James Jarvis, a private entrepreneur who secured a contract from the Continental Congress in 1787. Jarvis promised to produce large quantities of copper cents for the new nation. Though not as honorable as Franklin, Jarvis played a pivotal role in turning Franklin's ideas into actual coins. However, Jarvis's story is complicated. He overpromised, underdelivered, and eventually became involved in corruption. Yet despite the controversy, it was his workshop that produced the first official American coins based on Franklin's design. Together, their combined efforts, Franklin's wisdom and Jarvis's manufacturing ability, created the Fugio cent, the very first coin of the United States. The year 1787 is one of the most important dates in early American economic history. It was only 4 years after the Treaty of Paris officially ended the Revolutionary War. The United States was still figuring out how to govern itself, debating the Constitution, forming Congress, and trying to stabilize its fragile economy. And in the midst of this rebuilding process, America created its very first official coin, the Fugio cent. The timeline begins in early 1787 when Congress approved a plan to contract a private company to mint copper coins. At that time, the United States had no official mint of its own. The Philadelphia Mint would not be established until 1792, so the government had no choice but to rely on private manufacturers. In April 1787, James Jarvis's company, the New Haven Mint, signed an agreement to produce millions of copper cents on behalf of the United States. Production began shortly after. Jarvis's workshop started stamping Franklin's symbolic design onto copper blanks, using simple presses, not the advanced machinery of today, but hand-powered tools operated by craftsmen. These coins were struck one by one, slowly and manually, making the process labor-intensive and time. By mid-1787, the Fugio cents began entering circulation. It is important to understand the timing. This coin existed before the official United States Mint, before the first silver dollar, and before America had any real financial structure. It was produced during a period of uncertainty, when the government was desperately trying to establish order in the economy. The Fugio cent became the first coin authorized by the United States as a national currency, marking 1787 as the birth year of American coinage, though the contract later collapsed due to Jarvis's corruption. The coins already minted remained a powerful symbol of the new nation's determination to build its identity one coin at a time. The Fugio cent stands apart from most historical coins because its design is not just artistic, it is philosophical. Every symbol, every word, every element carved into the copper carries a message. Benjamin Franklin wanted the young nation to remember forever. The front side features a sundial with rays of sunlight shining down. Beneath the dial, the Latin word Fugio appears, meaning "I fly," referring to time. Franklin was reminding Americans that time is one of life's most precious resources. Time flies, he believed, and a nation that wastes time wastes its future. Below that sits the bold phrase, "Mind your business." Many modern viewers misinterpret this as a warning to stay out of people's affairs, but Franklin had a very different meaning. Focus on your work, stay productive, and take responsibility for your life. It was a motivational quote long before such things were popular. Franklin understood that a nation's strength comes from the discipline of its people, and he wanted every American who saw this coin to absorb that message. Turn the coin over, and you find 13 interlinked circles forming a chain one ring for each of the original colonies. In the center, the phrase, "We are one," is engraved. This was a powerful message at a time when the colonies struggled with disagreements and political tension. The chain symbolized unity, strength, and the idea that America could survive only if its states remained connected. A coin carrying reminders of time, responsibility, and unity was unusual for its age. Most currencies simply showed kings, empires, or national symbols. But Franklin's coin was different. It wasn't just meant to buy bread or trade. It was meant to teach values. The Fugio cent became a tiny copper lesson from a founding father, meant to guide the character of the new nation. The Fugo cent, the first official coin of the United States, was made entirely of copper, a metal that played a crucial role in early American commerce. Copper was chosen not because it was glamorous or expensive, but because it was practical, abundant, and perfectly suited for daily transactions. At a time when most small purchases, like bread, milk, candles, or basic supplies were made using low-value coins, copper became the foundation of everyday trade. In 1787, the United States was still developing its metal resources. Gold and silver were limited and reserved for higher-value coins, but copper mines along the East Coast provided enough metal for large-scale production. The choice of copper also made it possible to mint thousands of coins without placing financial strain on the young government. The Fugio cent weighed around 10 to 12 grams, much heavier than today's pennies. This weight reflected its purpose. It had to feel valuable in a world where people touched and tested their money regularly. If a coin felt too light, people assumed it was fake. Copper gave the Fugio cent durability. Many coins from 1787 survive today, still legible and recognizable. The copper used for the coin was often melted from raw copper sheets, scraps, or imported material. Craftsmen heated the metal, rolled it into thin sheets, punched out circular blanks, and then hammered or pressed Franklin's design into them. This gave each coin slight variations, some thinner, some darker, some lighter. These natural imperfections are exactly what make Fugio cents so fascinating to collectors today. By using copper, America sent a subtle message. The new nation belonged to ordinary people, while gold represented wealth and silver represented status. Copper represented everyday citizens, the farmers, merchants, and workers who built America. And so the first American coin, made of copper, became a symbol of both practicality and equality. Behind the noble symbolism of the Fugio cent lies a story filled with corruption, mismanagement, and broken promises. While Benjamin Franklin provided the moral and ideological foundation for the coin, the manufacturing process was entrusted to businessman James Jarvis, whose intentions were far less honorable. In 1787, Jarvis secured a lucrative contract from the Continental Congress to produce millions of copper cents. To win this contract, he used political connections, exaggerations, and in some cases, outright deception. He promised he could deliver the coins quickly and at a low cost, presenting himself as the perfect solution to America's currency crisis. But once he gained control of the contract, Jarvis began exploiting the system. His company failed to produce the required number of coins, missed deadlines, and struggled to maintain quality standards. Many coins were poorly struck or uneven, and production was far slower than promised. Behind the scenes, Jarvis and his partners were using government funds for personal gain. Eventually, it became clear that he had no intention of fulfilling the full terms of the contract. The scandal embarrassed the government and exposed the dangers of relying on private companies for national currency. The controversy over the Fugio cent directly influenced discussions about creating an official mint, one controlled by the government, not private businessmen. This pressure eventually led to the founding of the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia in 1792, ensuring coin production would be regulated, transparent, and reliable. Although Jarvis's actions tarnished the manufacturing process, they did not diminish the significance of the coin itself. In fact, the controversy adds a dramatic chapter to its history. The Fugio cent survived not only the chaos of early America, but also the fraud of the man responsible for making it one of the most intriguing artifacts of the nation's early years. More than 2 centuries have passed since the Fugio cent first entered circulation, yet only a few hundred well-preserved examples remain today. Most coins were lost, damaged, or melted down over the years. Copper is soft and reacts with air, moisture, and soil. Many coins that survived are heavily corroded, worn, smooth, or broken. It is rare to find one with clear details, which makes every well-preserved Fugio cent a valuable treasure. During the 1800s, the value of copper fluctuated, and people often melted old coins for profit. Many early coins, including Fugio cents, were destroyed in this process. Others were discarded when new coinage laws took effect. As decades passed, the Fugio cent became a forgotten relic, overshadowed by newer coins like the Liberty Head or the Indian Head cent. It was until the late 19th century that coin collectors began realizing the historical importance of the Fugio cent. They saw it not just as a copper piece, but as the birth coin of the United States, the first coin officially authorized by the government. This rediscovery sparked a wave of interest among historians, collectors, and investors. Today, the rarity of Fugio cents depends heavily on condition. A damaged, corroded example might sell for a few $100s. But coins in excellent condition, especially those graded mint state, can sell for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even over $1 million. Some rare varieties, created due to changes in dyes and mistakes in production, have become legendary among collectors because of its age, symbolism, and connection to Benjamin Franklin. The Fugio cent is considered one of the crown jewels of American numismacy. It is more than a coin. It is a survivor of America's earliest struggles, a silent witness to history, and a tangible piece of the nation's origin story. The room was silent, the kind of silence that happens only when history itself is about to be sold. A spotlight shined on a small copper coin inside a glass casa coin, barely the size of a modern penny, yet carrying more weight than gold. Collectors had flown in from across the world, not just for a coin, but for a symbol of America's birth. This was the Fugio cent New Haven restrike. Rare variety, one of the finest existing pieces of the first official American coin. For decades, numismatists had whispered about it as one of the cleanest strikes ever discovered. Sharp edges, deep details, and an almost untouched surface, despite being more than 2 centuries old. As the auctioneer lifted the coin, you could see its glow-rich reddish copper still reflecting Franklin's sundial and the famous "Mind Your Business" motto. The bidding started at $200,000, and within seconds, hands shot up across the room. 2 collectors in particular refused to back down. Each bid was not just a number, it was a statement of passion, pride, and obsession. When the price reached $900,000, the room buzzed with disbelief. But the fight wasn't over. The tension rose, hearts pounded, and with one final bid, the hammer fell at an astounding $1.7 million. Gasps filled the room. The winning bidder, a private American collector, later said he purchased the coin not just for its rarity, but because it felt like owning a piece of the nation's soul. The price wasn't just shocking, it set a new standard in the world of early American numismatics. With the Fugio cent proved it wasn't just the first American coin, it was one of the most valuable pieces of the nation's heritage ever sold. In the world of coins, there is one rule: copper rarely survives time. It fades, it corrodes, it darkens, and most early copper coins end up battered beyond recognition. That's why this particular Fugio cent, graded a miraculous mint state 65, created a storm of excitement long before it even reached the auction block. A coin this old, in this perfect condition, is almost impossible to find. For collectors, it was like discovering a time capsule from 1787, untouched by human hands. This auction took place in a large hall, buzzing with anticipation. Experts inspected the coin with magnifiers, whispering in disbelief at the sharpness of every detail: the rays of the sun, the fine lines of the sundial, the perfectly preserved chain of 13 colonies. This coin had survived more than 2 centuries without the scars of circulation. It had escaped pockets, purses, soil, moisture, and the melting pots of the 1800s. It was a miracle in copper. When bidding began at $100,000, no one was surprised. But what happened next shocked even the most seasoned collectors. This wasn't just a sale, this was a celebration of preservation, a reminder that some pieces of history survive against all odds. This Fugio cent became a symbol of perfection in early American coinage, proving that a simple copper penny, when protected for centuries, can become worth more than $500,000. While million-dollar coins make headlines, sometimes the real treasures are the rare die varieties, the small production mistakes, or changes that make certain coins nearly impossible to find. One such Fujio cent variety, bearing a slight mismatch in the die alignment, became the star of an unforgettable auction. The coin's surface told a unique story. The sun rays were slightly shifted, the lettering carried a rare variation, and the chain design displayed a subtle but significant difference from the standard issue. To an untrained eye, it looked normal. To experts, it was a unicorn. Collectors knew only a handful of these rare die varieties existed. Most were in poor condition, but this example, carefully preserved for generations, retained strong details. Its origin traced back to a private family in New England who had unknowingly passed it down for more than a century. When it finally entered the auction market, word spread like wildfire. The atmosphere on auction day was electric. Bidders weren't just competing for a coin, they were competing for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. When the auctioneer opened the floor at $20,000, dozens of hands raised instantly. The price soared $40,000, $60,000, $85,000. Collectors recognized that this wasn't just a coin, it was a mistake from 1787 that had outlived time. Then the bids passed $100,000. Every increase felt like a historical heartbeat after an intense back and forth between two phone bidders. The hammer finally struck at a jaw-dropping six-figure price, shocking even the auction experts. This sale proved something powerful. Collectors don't just chase beauty, they chase stories, anomalies, and the rare moments where history took an unexpected turn. And this rare de variety Fujio cent was exactly that. A rare twist of fate that turned a simple copper penny into a six-figure treasure. As we reach the end of this journey, it's easy to forget that everything we explored began with something so small, just a copper coin, barely an inch across, worn by time yet brimming with meaning. But the truth is, the Fujio cent was never just about money. It was a message, a lesson, and a promise. In 1787, America was fragile, divided, uncertain of its future. Yet in the middle of that uncertainty, Benjamin Franklin created a coin engraved with truth. That time flies, that discipline matters, that unity defines strength. This coin wasn't minted for kings, or palaces, or collectors. It was minted for everyday people. For the farmer buying grain, the merchant selling cloth, the mother struggling to raise her children in the new republic. It was a symbol that this country would rise not through wealth or armies, but through the hard work and unity of its citizens. Today, when a single Fujio cent sells for hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, the value isn't just in the copper. It's in the history it carries. Every scratch, every darkened edge, every faded detail is a reminder of where America began. A reminder that this nation was built coin by coin, promise by promise, sacrifice by sacrifice, and somehow, this tiny copper penny survived it all: wars, storms, political chaos, financial collapses, just to end up in our hands, whispering stories from 238 years ago. So as we close this chapter, remember, the Fujio cent is not simply the first coin of the United States. It is the heartbeat of a young nation, frozen in metal. It is a reminder to use our time wisely, to mind our responsibilities, and to stand together, just as the 13 colonies once did. Because history is not something we read, it something we carry. And in the story of America, few things are carried with more pride, more meaning, and more wonder than its very first coin.